Hi, this is Holly Brockwell from ShinyShiny. I am currently in a sleeper berth on the sleeper train between London and Edinburgh. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning right now, and I'm on my way to spend the weekend in Scotland with Acer, who have set me and some other tech bloggers some challenges, which we don't really have too many details on yet. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. Interested to see what the weekend's going to hold, but apparently there will be a deep fried Mars bar at some point, so that's something to be excited about. So far, we've had a little bit of a briefing. They've given us a fantastic branded backpack, which I am never going to wear, which is packed with Acer devices. So what I've been given are the Liquid Jade phone and the Liquid Leap fitness wearable. To be fair, I wasn't even really aware of this. I don't think Acer have made too much of a splash in the wearables market, so it'll be really interesting to see how this one performs tomorrow. I also have an Iconia Tab 8. And the one I'm really quite excited about, the Aspire Switch 10 laptop, which is a convertible laptop. From what I've seen in the brief demo, that one looks quite interesting, so I'll be doing probably an unboxing of that one tomorrow. Oh, and also branded mints. Come on now, that's amazing. So I'm guessing tomorrow will involve some combination of kind of making our way around Edinburgh with the use of these gadgets and kind of seeing how they perform and that kind of thing. So I'll be doing reviews and keeping you updated. But as for now, we are somewhere in the Midlands, right in between London and Edinburgh. And as I say, it's fairly early in the morning, so I'm gonna hunker down in my bunk and get some sleep. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so it is very early in the morning on Saturday morning. We're now in Edinburgh. The train got in this morning about 7 o'clock, and now it's nearly 9 and I'm still pretty sleepy, but quite a lot of people on the train went to bed a lot later than me, so I can't complain too much. So we're about to have our briefing on what the day is going to involve and what the challenges are going to be, but just before we do that, I'm going to do a very quick unboxing of my Acer Aspire Switch 10, which I will show you. So here's the Aspire Switch 10, nice and fresh in the box. So I'm filming this selfie style because obviously being that we're on the road, we don't necessarily have tripods and stuff with us, so this is all going to be a little bit on the fly. So as you can see, this is the top half. It's a convertible laptop, so this is the screen, and then if we lift this up, then we've got the keyboard just under here. As you can see, it's nice and new. This one uses a magnetic contact rather than the more complicated kind of release switches, so it should be hopefully nice and easy to get it on and off. Let's give that a go. So if I can do it one-handed, then I'm pretty sure it's going to be fairly straightforward to do normally. So let's get that in there. Ah, there we go. And we're off. Brilliant. Okay, so my video yesterday got interrupted by the briefing for the Edinburgh challenges. So it's now Sunday morning. I'm in my hotel room. We're still in Edinburgh. We had a pretty long but pretty amazing day yesterday, kind of running around Edinburgh in teams doing challenges with the Acer devices. Oh, it was really good fun. So, for example, some of the things that they had us doing included going to the birthplace of the inventor of the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell, and making a call on the Aspire Liquid Jade. And going to the cafe where J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone to do a little bit of blogging on the Acer Aspire Switch 10. And of course, since we're in Scotland, eating a deep fried Mars bar. So here I am eating it. This video was filmed on the Liquid Jade phone, so you can see kind of what the video quality is like. Okay, I'm about to eat a deep fried Mars bar. I don't know whether to be scared or excited. I'm kind of scare-sighted. Let's do this. Wow. Well, it's very hot. In the middle is very gooey. It tastes weird. It's kind of like chocolate and fish and chips at the same time. It makes no sense. But I kind of like it. Yeah, I'm giving it a thumbs up. So that was definitely an experience. Not sure it's one I'll be doing again, given that when I put even my tiny portion of the deep fried Mars bar into my fitness pal, it told me off for eating something so high in saturated fat, 600 calories for a whole one, so not sure that's something you should be doing if you want to stay fit and healthy. And speaking of being fit and healthy, I've been having a proper go with the Acer Liquid Leap fitness wearable, the wristband that they gave us yesterday, so that's this one here. So it's going to be a bit tricky with one hand, so bear with me, but if you tap twice on the screen to switch it on, there we go, so it gives you the time, and then you can scroll along. Am I scrolling the wrong way? I am scrolling the wrong way. And that gives you your notifications. So obviously I haven't actually gone anywhere this morning yet, but yesterday this was giving me some pretty interesting measurements. So it gives you kind of how many steps that you've done in the day. You have to tap it quite hard, by the way, it's taken us a while to get used to this. So how many steps you've done, how many miles you've walked, keep going, how many calories you've burnt, and how long you've been moving around for. And it also gives you kind of mobile notifications and that kind of thing. So when I was getting a text message or a call, my wrist was buzzing, which is pretty cool. But I have to say I didn't have the best experience with the Liquid Leap. Unfortunately, the first one that I used, I went to set it up, and we were all kind of doing it together in the hotel. And they said to us that the battery life on those, if you charge them to 100%, is about 7 days, which is obviously really impressive. So I charged mine to about 50%, and I'm thinking, oh, I've got 3.5 days worth of battery life there, so that should be enough just to head out and get on with it. So I was quite keen to start using it. Unfortunately, it says in the instructions as you're kind of pairing it up with your phone with the app, it says, make sure that you keep it on charge while you're pairing it, which I did. But unfortunately, then I took it off charge and put it on my wrist, and then it needed to do a software update. Halfway through the software update, it died, and I haven't been able to revive it at all. It won't switch on. So my first Liquid Leap, unfortunately, died completely. And then the second one that I tried, I kind of did it with the Acer team, so that we did everything exactly spot on. And the same thing happened. I mean, we kept it on charge the entire time that we were updating, and just somewhere during that update process, it just died. I mean, it bricked. It literally would not switch back on. It wouldn't reset. It wouldn't charge. It wouldn't do anything. So I don't know if I'm just cursed or what, but I have managed to completely break 2 of those. But this one is still working, touch wood, or touch screen rather. This one's okay, and I actually did really enjoy wearing it yesterday. It was really interesting to see kind of how many calories I was burning walking around Edinburgh. I've always been kind of anti-fitness wearables, not because I don't think they're useful, but because I feel that if I have a bracelet on that tells me, oh, you've burnt off 400 calories today, which is what it said yesterday after quite a lot of walking around Edinburgh, I will feel like I can eat 400 more calories, which isn't necessarily a very good thing, whereas maybe if I didn't know how many calories I'd burn off, I would just stick to my daily limit, which is what I normally do. But actually, I have to say I'm a bit of a convert. I did really enjoy having that information on my wrist yesterday, and I did find myself checking it quite often just to see how many steps I'd done. I got lots and lots of steps yesterday. It was thousands and thousands walking around. I think most people kind of aim for 10,000 a day, so it'd be really interesting to see if I could hit that on a normal day, especially, in London, where you're kind of going from home to work and then work to home and not really moving around that much. So yeah, I think I would give that another go, but I have had some issues with the Liquid Leap. I'm not sure if it's just teething problems or if it's a bigger issue. I mean, I know some people had problems with theirs here as well, but also some people completely didn't, so I don't know, it's kind of swings and roundabouts. It's difficult to tell whether that's just because it's brand new to us and we were kind of using it in an unusual situation, or whether that's something that people are going to experience at home as well, but it's at least something to be aware of. I should say also that the reason that I'm not wearing this right now is that I actually can't put it on myself. It's really difficult to put on. It looks quite simple with those 2 little prongs there, and obviously they just go into these slots here, but it's actually quite hard to do it, at least at first. The Acer team have told me that it does get easier as you start to use it, and you get used to it as well, but at the moment I can't put it on without outside assistance, and I know other people here have had the same problem, so that's worth being aware of. This at the moment costs £79 from Acer, so it's about 20 quid cheaper than your kind of Jawbone Up 24 or your Fitbit Flex, so not a huge saving, but a bit of one, so worth considering. Just depends whether you would get on better with something like this or one of the kind of the more well-known ones. Personally, I think with the problems I've had with it, I probably wouldn't choose this one, but again, it's difficult to tell whether it's just an unusual situation and teething problems or whether that's something that's going to become a wider issue. So I'll be interested to see what the reviews will be on that, because it's still fairly new. So moving swiftly on to the Liquid Jade smartphone. I haven't had a huge amount of time with this, so I can't do a very in-depth review. I've only had it for about a day, but this costs about £229 at the moment, so it's definitely on the budget end of Android phones. But for that, I think it doesn't particularly look budget. I think it looks quite nice. It's quite shiny, quite curved. It's very slim, as you can see there, and it's very, very lightweight as well, which I definitely appreciated while tramping around Edinburgh yesterday. The performance is really good. It's got a quad-core processor, which is obviously good at this price. I've had no kind of issues with lag or stuttering or anything like that. It's got an HD screen, although worth noting that it's not full HD, but that's not particularly something I noticed. It's very bright, clear, colourful. It's absolutely fine. The only thing that I haven't found great so far is the camera. It's a 13 megapixel camera, which sounds good in theory, especially at this price point. But when I was trying to take pictures last night, you know, the kind of advertising stuff says that it's really good at low light photos. And I was trying to take a picture of a quite large, quite well lit building here in Edinburgh, which should have come out fine, but for some reason I just couldn't get the camera to focus. I'm not sure why that was, but if you take a look at the picture, you'll see what I mean. So yeah, that one didn't come out so well. It's been a bit hit and miss in general, really, the camera. You know, I had some pictures last night that came out really, really well. The focus is really quick, and then I had some that kind of the focus just wouldn't lock on where I wanted them to, or they came out kind of blurrier or less sharp than I wanted. So I'd be interested to spend a little bit more time with this phone, because I think potentially it could be really, really good for the price, especially kind of performance and hardware wise. But I'd like to definitely spend a little bit more time with that camera and just see how I got on. So next up in super quick reviews is the Acer Iconia Tab 8, that's this one. So as you can see, it's got a very premium kind of iPad look to it with the curved metal back there. It's got a full HD screen, quad-core processor. I haven't used it a huge amount just yet. I did a bit of shopping on it yesterday because brilliantly my straighteners broke while I was here, which is why my hair looks horrendous right now. But I had no issues with it during that time, except that at one point it stopped responding to touch for a little while, but then it sorted itself out. And to be fair, that's a problem that I've had quite a few times when setting up new tablets, so I think that's just teething problems. I think potentially this is going to be a really good tablet. I mean, it's only kind of £120-ish, depending on where you get it from. It's got front and back cameras. Specs are looking pretty good for that price, so I'll be interested to spend a little bit more time with this one and see how it performs, but gut feeling is it's going to be really good. And last but definitely not least is probably my favourite product out of the Acer things that I've tried this weekend, and that is the Aspire Switch 10 convertible laptop. We had a very brief look at this earlier when I was unboxing it, so we'll take a little bit of a closer look now that I've actually had a chance to use it. So apologies for the fact that I'm having to film this on my bed, but we're kind of lacking in space at the hotel at the moment. Obviously lots of bloggers trying to do their thing, so we're stuck in here for now, sorry about that. Anyway, this is the Aspire Switch 10, so this is it kind of closed. So this has a 10.1 inch Full HD screen, and it's a really, really good screen actually. I'm going to struggle with this because it's one-handed, so please bear with me, sorry about that. So if we boot it up, so as you can see there, because I just did it by accident, it's very, very easy to detach the screen from the keyboard, which is obviously a really good thing, because if you're kind of out and about or you're at work and you just want to kind of pull it off, then it's really easy to do. It just comes off like that. Super easy. In tablet mode, it's only about 1 centimetre thick, so that's really good. Makes it quite a slim one compared to others. It's easy to put back on, but those magnets are very strong, so it's also quite easy to kind of accidentally slip it out of alignment and then kind of have to pull it back out and try again. But having said that, you know, it's been pretty easy with two hands. It just looks harder than it is because I'm only using one at the moment for filming. So I've really, really enjoyed using this so far. I've been kind of using it for blogging on and kind of keeping track of what we've been up to this weekend. Obviously, because it's only quite small, the keyboard feels a little bit cramped at times if you're used to a full keyboard, but I think for travelling it's brilliant. I mean, it really almost nearly fits in my handbag, so so that's pretty amazing, you know, for the size. It's only £280, which I think is really, really good value for what you get. You know, that Full HD screen, runs Windows 8.1, it's got a quad-core processor, 2 gig of RAM, so you're getting really good specs for that price. And generally just the performance and kind of the experience has been really good so far. This tablet screen has got Gorilla Glass on it as well, which is always good. You can put it in different modes as well, so obviously if you turn the screen around like this, again, don't do it one-handed because it's quite difficult, then you can put it in kind of in stand mode like that. So that's quite useful. Obviously if you were kind of running somebody through a presentation or something, you could also put it that way. The screen rotates itself, as you can see. So that's very, very handy that you have the option of doing kind of different modes. Obviously, you can also just use it as a tablet by itself, or you can use it as a full-on laptop. And I'm quite enjoying it, I have to say. It's a really nicely made bit of kit, you know. It feels very, very robust. It doesn't feel like you're going to have any issues kind of carrying it around with you. As I say, it's got Gorilla Glass screens, so you're not worried too much about kind of dropping and smashing it or anything like that, and the hardware is really good. So granted, I haven't had a huge amount of time with this just yet, but so far it's been really good, and it only weighs just over 1 kilogram, so it's really, really very portable, and I could completely see myself using this one. I like this one. So that's been my weekend in Edinburgh with Acer on the live blogging challenge. I had a really great time, and hopefully those mini reviews have been useful for you as well. I'll be heading back to London in a minute. I think I'm supposed to be checking out of my room basically now. So I will see you back in London, and thank you for watching.